Okay, we're going to start working on our punctuating dialogue and formatting the Georgia author narrative essay. Okay, so I'm going to read along, and for this example, I just want to see if, first of all, has the writer here have they used a tab button to indent? And all I got to do here is like backspace, and yes, she has used the tab button. Okay, so I'm going to keep that on. All right, this formats the rest of your writing, okay? It was November 29th, 1952. I am 8 years old. All right, now the first thing we want to check out here is, see this punctuation right here? Punctuation is a period, and there's a space between the period and the word. So we want the period to be right after the word so that there's no space there. And then there is a space after the punctuation, and that's important. Okay, so we're going to keep, and it looks like everywhere else, well, most places, we want to keep that punctuation right up against, because that way it knows that this is the computer knows that this is the end of the sentence. Okay. My mom, who works at the new McDonald's that just opened up. My dad, who worked at a construction job, he builds stuff. All right, so there's lots of grammatical things that we got going on here. We can fix that. My mom, you don't need the who right here. We're just going to take it out. My mom works at the new McDonald's that just opened up. And see how easy that is to fix right there. It just sounds right. My dad, we don't need the who, works at a construction job. That's a sentence. All right, and we're going to start a new sentence. He build, and that's actually with an S. He builds stuff. Does that sound right? He builds stuff. And my brother, who is 10. Okay, so that's her family, and I'm all right with that. Probably could use some more descriptive words like, and my brother also lives with us. He is 10, something like that. We stayed in a house by a farm. By this time, my mom was at work, and my dad had just gotten off. My mom works second shift. And I'm going to use that comma, that the punctuation right there, which needs to move right up against the word. And my dad works first. And I'm not really sure what first is, so we want to be clear, because he works first shift at the construction company. We don't see much. We don't see mom much, because when we get out of school, it be time for her to go to work. How about we're adding a helping verb there? It will be time for her to go to work. Oops, I added that accidentally. I'm going to backspace here. My dad was in the kitchen cooking pork chops. And usually you eat more than one pork chop, so we're going to put a plural there. Pork chops, and she did her, look at her punctuation here, or commas. Cooking pork chops, comma, mac and cheese, comma, and cornbread. All right, so she's making a list there, so she's got her commas in the right spot. We're going to move this punctuation back. My brother was on the floor looking crazy. All right, I like that. I can visualize that, but I think that's a sentence. We're going to make that a complete sentence, and we're going to add capitalization. He was thinking of what he wanted for Christmas. My brother gets, with the S, on my nervous. No, that's not nervous. It's nerves. Oops. ES, it's nerves, but I still love him. My brother and I have this game we love to play called Cowboys, and we'll add an S here because more than one person plays it. Cowboys and Indians. All right, her punctuation is good. He would be the cowboy. And you could probably add more words right here with the fancy hat and boots. And I would be the Indian, okay, with clothes we put together. All right, now I'm okay with that. Now watch what happens here. I think she's starting a new paragraph here, right? So Here's all you need to do. I'm going to just enter, and it automatically gives me this indentation for a paragraph. Now she's starting a conversation here, and obviously the conversation needs to be capitalized. Come and eat, and here we need punctuation here with a comma. All right, so she starts off with the quotation mark, come eat, comma, quotation mark. My dad said, and she did this little typo here, chewing on a piece of pork chop, and that's great. I visualize that because he's munching on the pork chop, and that's what dads do. Okay, so but look what she's got here. Somebody else is talking. What do we do when someone else starts talking? We add a new paragraph. Okay, I replied. All right, obviously we are adding. Anytime you start a new sentence, you're going to capitalize, and this is just a statement, so we're going to have a comma, end of quotation, I replied, period. Okay? And you can keep going with this paragraph here. My brother and I went in the kitchen to sit and eat. As I was eating, my dad asked us a question. All right, now watch how this works. Okay? He's gonna like go to the next line because we're changing the conversation. Y'all know Christmas is around the corner, right? My dad asked. All right, that worked pretty good. We're gonna need a period there. Okay, now she's got this space on the quotation mark here, and we gotta fix that. But we have someone else talking. What do we gotta do? That's right, and you notice all the capitalization. All right, so you guys know how to do that, and I'm not going to correct every single mistake that is with capitalization. All right, so here we go with the I replied, and then her brother's talking here. All right, yes, and this is the exclamation mark, and this is probably a typo here, but we always have our quotation mark after the punctuation when we're talking. My brother yelled, all right, and that's good. All right, and here the dad's going to talk. Boom, we just do that. What do you want? My dad asked. All right, and here the brother's going to talk again. All right, so we're doing this dialogue quickly here. I want a BB gun. And then the dad, does the dad talk here? Yes, see, all right, here we go. Now we got to get our situation right here with the quotation mark. I'll see, I will have to work more. Alright? And he's still talking here, so we don't need another quotation mark. I will have to work more, period. Okay, isn't that right? What do you want, Alice? Alright, okay, let's fix this right here. Look at this. Quotation mark after the punctuation. My dad asked. Alright, and here we're starting. Alice is going to talk now. I don't know. Surprise me, I said. Okay, and then he's talking. Okay, if I get you something you don't like, it's going to be your, and we're going to make this really correction here. And here we go. I chuckled. Okay, alright, you see that? There's our dialogue. Alright, so you see how we corrected all the, well, most of it. Obviously, we have some capitalization problems that y'all need to fix. It's just a matter of, editing your writing. That's all it is. But that's kind of how we want to do, like right here. I chuckled is a good way. It's a great introduction to what you're saying, and I love it. But you need to make sure you have the correct punctuation and capitalization. And there's the period before the quotation mark. Alright, you see how that works? Quotation mark, sentence, punctuation, quotation mark. And we'll probably use a couple more examples so that we understand this as we continue with learning how to use dialogue in our writing. Alright, I hope this has been helpful.